Berdiri sejak tahun 1979, Nutrifood adalah
Okay, sit down. We're about to start the next session, that is ELD Launches. Let's go. Are you ready to see the future of the portfolio? If you see somebody talking, please tell them to be quiet or sit down, okay? Let's go, let's go, let's go. I need more energy because this session is going to be long. And it's one of the most important sessions of the conference. Because later, you need to have clarity how will you implement this in your entities, okay? Good? So one more time, welcome to ELD Launches! Yes. So, again, I'm JP, AIVP Strategy Innovation, and I proudly am leading a team of product managers and also MX manager that they're gonna show you what they have been working on for the last months, okay? So, new products, innovations that are gonna come from Isaac. Are you excited? So first, I wanna welcome to the stage the big, the great, the big Egyptian, the Pharaoh, Omar Ibrahim! My team, by the way, we look so cute. Are you ready to see the next step of our portfolio? I already did the hyping, so it's fine. Are you ready to see the future of the portfolio? Scream if you want to see it! So, oh.
Okay. Clicker issues anyway. So help me welcome the global host. Okay. So we are routing the poppers? No? Okay. At least do it. Okay, yes. This delay. Anyway, it's fine. Some delays. And I think like so there is some wristbands gonna be there. Guys, can you give wristbands to here also? Okay. I don't know if we finished the wristbands or not, but yeah. Okay, guys. Everyone took a wristband, right? No? If no, don't worry. I will give to GV. I have still some for you, okay? Okay. So, firstly, before going, I want just to appreciate a very big team that helped me to do this product. And this product is, well, like, we worked a lot, like almost 3 months to create this product to launch today, which is like Shireen from Isaac in Germany, and Bukli from Isaac in Romania, and Isma, Turkey alumni, and Alexandra for sure, the MCP of Isaac Indonesia. Okay. Perfect. So, let's go to the point of what is global host. Okay. Firstly, this is the product booklet, so you can scan the code. You will have the full proposal, which is like something better to understand the full side. because this is just launching, okay? So after that, we're gonna talk to, okay, this also like the link if you want, it's a proposal desk. So you can also like right now go around, see what's going on, what we need to do, so yeah. So, I don't know why it clicks 2 times. Okay, so mainly what's global host? I think like most of you, I think also there is like more entities already start to run like individually the global host, but mainly it's like sub-product where families host incoming global volunteers in their homes during IGV project. That's mainly. So it's like sub-product of IGV, which is like part, yeah. Okay, so, yes, okay. So mainly what we need, we are providing an opportunity for young people to begin developing the global mindset by volunteering, address the SDGs alongside of global volunteer product, okay? Perfect, so we have a very good value proposition of global host. We need to launch with you also, which is like, it's a home for every volunteer and a world for every host. And this slogan, I think ISIC needs to be committed for a long time, which is like, it's mainly cross-cultural experience, genuine belonging, internationalize your home, develop moral citizenship, and showcase local culture, safe and structured. So, if you go to about persona, because we have type of personas, or mainly the persona that what's gonna include global host, which is like the intentional host, and the culture in this host, and here you can also in the booklet define the definition, everything, and also we have the experienced hosts, which is like the people that already like working with couch surfing, working with Airbnb, so this also can join ISIC product. And lastly, you, the ISIC hosts. I think like this most important to understand that yes, you can be the global host, it's fine. Because like it's not just for externals, it's something that could be connected to your belonging to ISIC. So yeah, that's mainly the product business model canvas. I just want to highlight about the financial like point here, which is like it will be depends like AI finance manager Omar will send you with a pilot application, the all finance guidelines, which entity and the average of each entity and each culture of the entity. What I mean is sometimes global hosts, like if you have the culture of the host families, it's gonna be without charge. But some entities say like, no, for sure, families will ask for some money or like the TN fees. So finance manager will tell you the percentage could be from the TN fees or could be from the product itself, okay? So yeah, so mainly we have standards for global host, which is like starting from the background check, the rating extensions and goodwill agreement, weekly checkpoints with ISIC, emergency contact, respect for culture, religious difference, no discrimination based on gender, nationality, religion, and immediate reporting of safety concerns to ISIC, and house rules communicated before arrival. This mainly the whole expectation settings for global host. So right now, if we're gonna like run the fully product, we need to have this as standards connected to our standards of exchange. So yeah, and these are requirements to be approved. We have like stages to approve each global host or each sign up. Starting from the space standards, behavior standards, and host agreement, and the host agreement will be gonna cooperate with ICB. So it will be more easy and connected to our product structure. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me right? Okay, perfecto. And here the whole journey starting from awareness till post experience, which is the funnel of global host. Starting from like how we're gonna make the attraction campaign, how we're gonna create our materials, for sure gonna be aligned with brand of the pilot entities, and starting from the application, evaluating matching, and all the stages. So, you're gonna ask me very good question, how we can connect this to Expo, right? Very good question. Okay, what's in my mind that we want to embed it in the Expo, which is like having a host signups connected, and for each application, gonna be the global host manager of each EB. But this will take more time. That's why we're gonna have the pilot phase for external platform, and after the pilot got successful and for sure mandate, and the next legislation, which is like gonna be, could be IBM, not my year, like next year, and the next IC, then the product will be officially like products, you know, for every entity. So yeah. So yeah, global host turns global volunteer from a project-only experience into community-powered experience. And lastly, the pilot application will be open when? First week of August. Okay. So right now, there is like something. You can hear me right now, right? I think it's better, right? Anyway, there is something I said first beginning of my turn that I want to include something meaningful for DB. Which is this meaningful thing. I think it's gonna be like firstly surprising, even when I talked to the last or previous IGV commission. Okay, you are fucking crazy. How? But when I talked to them, I said, okay, why ISIC doesn't have something critical, can stand, not something connected to another NGO or following another thing. So what you're gonna see right now, something I dreamed for a long time, and this is one of the reasons why I applied to AI. So let's watch the video together.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with Z. I spy with my little eye something beginning with Z.
Okay. So before I telling you or surprising like you why, okay, or what is this? Is it sub product? Is it something else? What is this? I'll tell you a short story, which is like starting by 2-3 questions. Which is first one, what if we have failed to achieve peace? Which is like something I think most of us asking ourselves, are we really achieve peace or not? By seeing what's happening around us. And also asking ourselves, what's our response to this? What's the action that we are taking for that? The second question, what if ISIC could no longer stand on its own feet against a cruel world? Which is like what's happening around us. You ask yourself, okay, am I contributed to something meaningful or not? And the last one, what if every day we watch the world break and convince ourselves that we are powerless to do anything? And I think the most hard thing is the feeling of powerless. You don't have nothing to do. That's why I want to share with you something as, I'm not saying meaningful, but feeling, which is like before starting to apply to AI, when I go into mountains, I said, okay, this time I will go 6 months 6 months volunteering around the mountains to just prove one thing, that whatever I survive, whatever the problems that I face, but at least I will make something meaningful, which is like by my voice. And I think what we have as power, like something very powerful, is our voice. We don't have something. We don't have weapon. We will not like fight. We will not attack, right? Just our voice is enough to speak up and say what's going on. And our proof of action is something that's what we are creating as projects and also how we are treating our GV. That's why this is the main thing that I said, that yes, your voice is one of the strongest forces that cruel world can never faces. And when I look to this part of the volunteers that I met from all over the world, which is literally, I met people from Canada till Hong Kong and also Japan, like from the whole world. 6 months just volunteering. And the only thing that in my mind, that how am I representing myself, firstly as Egyptian, secondly, how am I treating and talking about Palestine? Which is something that I want to tell you, like, even when the first people talk to me about, which like, I think she is Austrian, she asked me first thing, what do you think about this? I told her, do you want like my only opinion, or do you want what is the propaganda of the media doing? She said to me, like, the media I know. Like, I am from Austria, and I know like how Europe promoting as conflict. I told her, wait, let's talk together, and I send her the video of, I don't know, for sure it's famous in Arab world, like Dahiyah, talking about Palestine, which translated in English. Told her, okay, watch this video. This video can change a lot. And she watched it. Actually, I can even show you, like, this girl in the middle of this from Austria, and she didn't know anything. Just she is 19 years old. She's discovering the world, watching media, didn't know, didn't even act. When I'm talking or when I like saying why, how we can act, how, she didn't know. That's why I'm telling you, my voice made her, after almost 3 months, asking me again, can you please send me the link? And she started to post on the social media against the European media. And started to post something for peace, for Palestine. And I remember even like after 6 months, when I'm talking to this, which is like, I left the hostel. This was like my last experience in the hostel. And my name is like all volunteers writing the name on the wall and the date, like when they volunteered. And just, I wrote my name west of these old people. And by the way, the name of the girl is Adi. She left before me. And after that, she texted me again. Okay, Omar, I have the video right now, and I want also to write a book about Palestine. She started from someone didn't know anything about what's going on, till someone writing and start to post on social media and start to talk, speak up. Why? Because just randomly, I sent her a video, describe what's going on. Just because I talk, just because I speak up about what's going. So, after this whole story, what we want to have a message before like launching this sub-product, or let's say portfolio, which is, it's always what we can do is, whatever the world is cruel, but Isaac will never be silent. And Isaac will never refuse to talk. Because Isaac is the only way of all of us as young people to speak up, to go against what is happening in the world, even by your voice only. Even by only your voice. And by that, let's welcome our global volunteers for GV. Okay. So mainly, what is this sub-product? There's also some wristbands, but anyway, I will give you later. So, okay. Okay, guys, okay. Let's focus, please. I will give you the wristbands, don't worry. Okay. You broke the wall or what? Okay, anyway. So, let's talk about crisis volunteerism. Is a new like sub-product, but it's GV. Something of portfolio only. It's a new portfolio. Portfolio didn't based on SDG, portfolio of ISIC. So ISIC right now had a portfolio that can act against any crisis. That's why when you look to the, let's say the statement, why this sub-product going, which is young people acting for humanity when the world needs leadership the most. And if you talk about what is the interest of this sub-product, it's more about the young people are not disconnected from the world. They see the wars, displacement, climate disaster, social instability, poverty, community breakdown, which is like ISIC had a portfolio, or let's say portfolio, of creating a crisis response project. And if you talk about what is the interest, I don't know why the clicker is so bad. Anyway, so for the APs, the interest coming from the meaning. They are not only joining projects, they are responding, enablers, interested coming from also like the capacity. ISIC entities, who's the entities that could pilot this portfolio, needs to understand more also how they can respond as ISIC entity to what's going on all over the world. So yeah. And this, the also QR code, scan it. It's a full of first proposal of the portfolio that you can also understand more. And, okay, sorry. Scan it again. Okay, perfect. So, lastly, I will just want to appreciate a very people that close to my heart. These people also worked with me on this project starting from January, which is Shireen from ISIC Germany and Anna from ISIC Portugal, and actually it's wrong, Valentina from ISIC in Italy. She will kill me. Okay. So why it matters? Mainly because we have 80% of disasters in our whole world SDGs didn't cover. That's mainly. And first to arrive and to leave, volunteers sustain last mile and wear formal systems. And also we have 4 stages of the arc of crisis. Let's see how it's gonna going. Firstly, we have persona, which is like firstly experience volunteers. Secondly, also you can find everything in the booklet if you want to read, you know, with more time. I'll just like go fast because of time. So yeah. Okay. So you have also impact travel seeker, future social worker one day, and you have believer, globetrotter, and lastly you have community rebuilder. If you go to the mainly value proposition is mainly turn purpose into structure, meaningful action. How you're gonna act on what's going on around the world. That's mainly. And it's also connected to cross-cultural experience, one of our core, structure safe experience, measurable impact, and the growth credibility. So if we go to the enabler persona, you can find also we have 4 NGOs or like persona that could host these projects, starting from co-server, everyday's hero, future mentor, crisis commander, and lastly, the model itself, which is like not connected to SDG. It's alone, like ISIC impact, you know, model, not SDG model, which is environmental social crisis. That's it. 3 types, 3 pillars that this model contribute to. Starting from environment, climate action, adaptation, natural restoration, biodiversity, sustainable living, social learning, access, youth development, community well-being, inclusion, crisis, the arc starting from preparedness, relief, recovery, resilience, stability. So if we go more of ESC, by the way, the impact portfolio name ESC, environment, social crisis, okay? So ESC ISIC portfolio, or like let's say framework, it's connected to this crisis arc. So let me explain more about the crisis arc. Crisis starting from before the crisis, during, if the crisis happens suddenly, I don't know, flooding, earthquake, whatever, and after crisis, and after 1-2 months of the crisis. How can these projects get developed through the stages of the crisis? So yeah, and this mainly the also framework of each crisis and how we kind of connected the whole wave. And lastly, these are the pillars to project families. You can have the focus areas at the crisis arc, and these are the examples of all projects of the portfolio. And lastly, this is a portfolio. So please scan again the QR code, see the portfolio. It's definitely different what GV had right now. It's a new portfolio, no SDGs, just focus on how ISIC can act on it. Okay, I think all of you is done about scanning. So read more. You will see something is under development because we still finalizing the last things of the portfolio, but have a look, see how it's going inside. So yeah. Really? Okay, so can you type the link? Okay, guys, I will send the portfolio link after the session. I think it's problem of QR code, or you can write the link on the web, okay? But anyway, I will send it, don't worry about this. So, okay, let's go on. And for sure, like something very important, which is like the safety protocol of this, since it's crisis volunteerism, we need safety protocol of what we're gonna happen, okay? Because volunteers is important for us. But this safety protocol, we have some conversations with ICP, which is like gonna connect it to how we can make our EPs safe. Because this, I think the most risk is the safeness of the EPs. So yeah, also you can check about the safety protocol fully from the link. And I think it's not working, but try to scan it, okay? If not working, I will send all in the CC delegation group after the session itself directly. So yeah. I don't know if it's working or not working. Okay, perfect, I will send it. Lastly, this last message, again, before like finishing the GV, you know, new projects, or like, let's say, new innovation. Lastly, ISIC was never being powerless, because we are the real youth movement that you need to believe. I'm not only again saying believe of ISIC, because I think all of us believe on ISIC, that's why we are here. But believe how, or believe your movement, how can it change a lot of things. And lastly, if one day my voice dies, which is like I will leave ISIC, you need to continue what started, and you need to be the voice after me, that's how you could start. And this important, if SDGs fail, ISIC will never fail. So don't connect what's happening of the SDGs or whatever in each year, connect how ISIC can stand after SDGs, or like beyond any NGO or any organization. And lastly, take care of this amazing organization, amazing product, which is ISIC is always coming from you. So keep like hugging ISIC, or hugging what we developed beyond whatever, you know, like whatever happened in the world, hugging ISIC, and think about how you can give this product of GV the meaningful, valuable to resist in front of the world. And lastly, thank you so much. The pilot application will open in August, September. So if you're into, thank you. If you're empty, having something like crisis, or like your country or the country beside you, or you hear something that you can contribute to, please be ready, do your market research about this, be the first pilot to act on what's going on of the world, and I'm waiting for the application. So thank you so much. I think I can make them check out. Thank you. And also I can say that, oh, okay. I can also introduce my GT amazing mate, Shao. So please help me welcome Shao on stage.
Okay, hello everyone. It's me, Chao Yaya, Internships Manager. Okay, but first, when we talk about GT, I mean, I want you to think about a question a little bit. And the question is, what do you think about GT? Okay, so I've been talking with people about like, what do you think about GT? And usually the things that I receive the most is about, the product have a lot of problems. That product, no one's running it, supply and demand. I cannot generate result. It's not potential to run. We want to run GV more, kind of like that. And every things that I heard when I asked about GT, it's always about a problem. And it's always about it will not work. And the things I hear the least about GT is that it doesn't have hope. Like, how can we work on this product? And people, for me as a GT manager, internship manager, people always talk about GV, but no one talk about GT. So, what next with GTs, and how can we make GT to be better? And to make that happen, we need to understand what's happening with GT, so that we could understand about like how we can actually have the right solution towards the problem that we are having with the products. And the things, when I ask people about their GT operation also, and the things I hear repeatedly is that, I cannot sell. My sales stuck. Yeah, and it's very hard to sell, so I feel that it's impossible, so I don't run the product anymore. It's almost like that. It's about like sales. I cannot do it. So, sales stuck, we cannot find a company with the need for GT, or like low conversion, no urgency, or like, a lot of things that we talk about GT, about sales. And what's the real actual problem that makes this happen? So for me, we cannot sell because we lack of the external alignment with the product itself. Because the latest time that we update the product is already in 2020. It's 6 years. And another thing is that we have a very unclear portfolio and packaging. We don't have any product packaging for GT. So that's why we end up selling the same things to everyone. For me, GT is a very diverse product. It has a lot of things inside of it. For example, physical, remote, hybrid, have a lot of feel, and then a lot of duration also. But right now, the way we're doing the product is that we sell everything to partner, and we sell everything the same to everyone. So that's why, also with the lack of external alignment, we don't really understand what's the external needs. So when we approach them, we're just like, hi, this is GT, do you want to buy? So how can company and partner will buy if that's always the way that we offer? Like, we just present everything, and partners gonna see whether they want to buy it or not. So this is currently the way that we are running the products right now. And with that, it's related to the point of relevance. So we talk a lot about like whether GT is still relevant or not. For me, product is always relevant. It's just about like how we are doing right now is aligned with our context or not. And to make GT to be relevant with all of these problems about like we have unclear portfolio and such, the things that can make us to be more relevant is that we can have a portfolio that align with external market. So, we're gonna have a portfolio for global talent. Yay! Okay, so portfolio for GT from me, and I think for you, it's not something like very new, because I'm not inventing like something super different or like something super new, but I would categorize it so to make it like clearer for you so that you could sell it better. So portfolio means that what you're gonna sell to who, and what does portfolio include in GT? Do you know? Okay, for me, there's two things. First is the product, And second, it's about feel. That's the portfolio of GT. But when we talk about portfolio, we don't even know like what is there in portfolio of GT. Okay, so first thing first, going to the subproduct of GT. For me, why we need to talk about subproduct and what does subproduct mean? Subproduct means that you need to have different value proposition for each subproduct. Second, you need to have different persona for each subproduct, and you need to have different positioning for subproduct. And what is our current subproduct right now with GT? It's feel. Yeah, but for me, feel it's not like doesn't make sense to put as a product because it doesn't have like different value proposition, different persona. So the way we categorize our products right now is not effective. So what should be the subproduct of GT? Yay! And for me, it should be categorized based on duration. Yeah. So why? Because so when I analyze and then I read about the product history and such a lot, then I realize that the way we do short-term GT and the way we do mid and long-term GT is completely different. It have different value proposition. It have different persona. It have different positioning. But right now, we are thinking GT is just like only one thing. One value proposition, one persona. We do everything the same. That's why the product is not working effectively. So with duration, when we separate like this into subproduct, how it's going to be different in terms of like these two parts. For example, short term, we can sell it with startup, accelerator, incubator, and such. But for mid and long term, we're gonna sell to bigger company, SME, MNC, or like national corporate. But the way we're currently doing right now, we sell everything to like startup, SME, MNC. That's why they are not interested. Second, for youth, short term, we attract undergraduate, low-level experience. And for mid and long term, we gonna attract graduate and experience. Very simple. But right now, we attract undergraduate for like long term, so no one got accepted, and we think that like our conversion is fucked, and then the product is not working. But it's just that we are not approach the right target for our product. So here is a sub-product, and here's the different stakeholder that you should attract for. Second is that when we talk about GT, I think a lot of people thinking that this is professional experience. True, it's professional experience, but it's not everything of GT is like professional experience. So why? For me, professional experience is for mid and long-term GT. Okay. And the second one is that GTs not only have professional experience, but they also have hands-on experience, which means learning experience. And it applies for short-term GT. What does it mean? Because when like undergraduate, they go on a short-term GT, they will learn. It's not that they will have like very professional like experience that they will perform. So this will shape the positioning of GT with partner and also with youth. Yeah. So for mid and long term, it's more about how we help the EB to master like their skill and such. But for short term, it's more about like exploring and also about like how they can start their career. So overall, it's kind of like that for you to understand like what's the difference, so that how we can do the sellings better. So here's like a more detailed differentiation between like these two sub-products. So one thing that you can be noticed is that, so for duration of each package, for short term, we have like from 6 to 12 and such, right? But for some entity that have like very restricted visa situation, then like maybe 6 to 8 weeks would be like some solution that you could explore. Yeah, and here's like the refresh value proposition of like for each sub-product, because it's different between like each sub-product. I think you can read it later because I'll have the link for you to read it. Yeah, overall like that. So here is the link for the sub-product with value proposition. So you can scan, you could have the link so that you could check it later. I'll have like some moment for you to go through this, scan, have the link, but you have it, the output anyway. But yeah, okay, 10 seconds. Okay. Okay, so disclaimer for sub-product is that This I do based on external analysis. And the next step for that is that I will do network validation to fully finalize the output so that we can put it on official material. So what is the timeline, or like how we gonna do with the subproduct for the next step? So this is like the pre-launch in IC. After that, we will have the validation process with network. So it means that like network will do like selling, approaching youth and partner to sales, and then we have the insight to validate that is there anything that we need to change. Yeah. So at the end of the semester, we will be fully finalized and then launching in the official material and such. So, so this is like the overall about next step with subproduct. Second is that after subproduct, we're gonna go through field and subfield of GT. So how many fields that we're having with GTA, do you know? 6? Okay, thank you. Yeah, right now we're having like 6 fields with GTA. But what is the current problem with field of GT? First, it's not updated with the current job market. Second, we don't really understand what is under each field. For example, what is categorized as business administration? What is categorized as BD? What is categorized as like finance and such? We don't really know. And last one is that what is actually defined GT opportunity and what is not? Why I say this? So when I go through Expa or like Isaac.art, I have like some opportunity like this. First, receptionist. So should this be a GT opportunity or not? Second, barista. So there's a lot of jobs like this. Before I see like some nurse, chef, and such. So we don't have like any limitation or boundary about like what should be GT opportunity and what is not, because we only have like few and we don't have like any more detail in each part. So for this, I'll have like the new field and not new, but updated more detail about field and subfield. You can scan, but anyway, I will explain it for you also. Okay. Okay, so for field and subfield, first you can find that on the field, subfield, and background inside. For example, I have like information technology. There will be 3 subfield, software and app development and such. Inside that, there will be like background, full stack development, back end, front end, mobile app, something. So everything will be here, so that you could know that what is inside of each field and subfield. Next one is that what is outside of those background is considered as not valid for GT opportunity. So we could easier to define whether it's a valid GT opportunity or not. And we have a new field for GT. Woo! And the new field is data and analytics. Okay, so why we have like this new field? Okay, so I read some report also. So first, this is the Future of Job Report 2025. This is like top 15 fastest growing job. And if you notice, there will be 3 jobs that's related to data already. So which means that data is a very rising market that we could really tap into, but right now we are not updated it in our field yet. So we are not like really pushing for it. And second one is that why don't we actually merge it with IT or business profile? It's maybe similar, because this like kind of like business tech profile is like hybrid background that require the knowledge in both. So it's better to separate it out. And yeah, it's a very big potential market for GT right now. And when I analyze like the opportunity on Expa, like data and analytics actually like have 8%. Yeah, so it will be like very good opportunity and very good market for you to explore with this part, so that we could grow GT more with this. Okay, so yes, so here's like some sub-field and background of this field. Yeah. Okay. So also in the sheets that you find in the field and sub-field, you can see that like which background fit for short term, which background fit for mid and long term. So you know that when you do proposal, when you want to offer short term, what you should offer. You cannot offer randomly. Okay, and also I will put like which one is not suitable with remote also if you want to run remote. Yeah, and in each field and subfield you can check who you should sell for. For example, data and analytics like and such. For example, partner, I will have some suggestion about like which sector you should approach, which type of company based on short and mid long. Second, for lead like EPs, which is a background or common skill required. Because right now, when we do matching, we attract EPs. We don't know who to attract. We just know that like, this is a job for IT. I will approach, I will find like IT background. It's not specific enough. We need to find based on the skills that is required. And I have like the application must have, which means like in the CV or in the application, what we need to have. Because right now, for example, if I apply for IT data, I don't know which is the thing I should add so that I could get accepted rate higher. So this is one of the suggestions that you could check so that you know when you do the matching, when you do attraction, who's the specific target that you should approach or you should attract. Also, I will have like JD reference, and this like reference only. So for this, for OGT, you could give lead as reference. For IGT, you could understand and also deal with company better. So yeah, this is like all the information that you have. Yes, and what next with field and subfield? We'll have like platform update. We will change like something on Xbar. We'll add like background so that you could choose accordingly. And we'll update skill because this is very outdated. Like if you usually do it, you know that it's super outdated. So based on like field, subfield, background, we'll update it like new one. And also when you do like open opportunity on Xbar, you could choose the skill required based on the background you have and such. So it's easier rather than like you choose random skill and then it doesn't help anything. Yeah. So this is like the example. Okay. So for me, GT is that we need to overcome the challenge of GT so that we can start to make the product growth in order to make the growth happen. And for GT, it's time we start to wonder about how to make the product happen. And we need to stop to think about like whether product actually solve the problem or not, whether products actually align with the needs of the market or not. Yes. But now the question is more about like how we can optimize the growth, how we can make GTs happen, how we can make it to grow more. Yes. And for me, it's time to make technical issue. Need music. And it's time to make GT.
I'm sexy.
Sexy again! Again. No, I need music. And it's time to make GT sexy again!
I'm sexy and I know it.
Okay, so here is my team, my GSC team that actually work with me to have those outputs. So I want to send the appreciation to my people also to help me with all of the projects. Yeah, but one more thing. I talk about GTI a lot, but question is, what next with GTE? Woo! Okay, for this, pretty similar a bit about that. Okay, we have like field, subfield also. It's in the link before already. But GTE, one thing we have to talk about it is that it's not growing that much. And if it's growing, it's in a very limited entity. So what's the problem? The problem first is about like skill and understanding. We are not really have conversation talking about GTE and such. So how we could actually raise the conversation more, how we could have more understanding about it. So for GTE, I hope that we could have more attention to it, conversation about it, and more input about it, so that we could know how we can make the growth to GTE happen. So that's all from me as GT. Thank you.
Give it up for Shao! Really amazing product managers, people. So the last thing that you will see now is with me, and with this we conclude the session of ELD Launches. How is it going so far? Good? Nice. So for this, we're gonna start with a small video.
We count the experiences we deliver, the exchanges, the projects, the meetings, the results. But leadership does not always happen in the moments we count. It happens when someone chooses to listen, to take ownership, to act according to their values, to empower another person. We have always believed our experiences develop leaders. Now, we want to understand how. Join the pilot. Help us move from experiences to evidence.
So, in Expros, who were in Expros? You saw the new LDM, right? It's time to developing and thinking about it. So think about one person who has experience generally changed them and what changed in the way they behave, how they acted. You may say that they became more confident, they started to empower others, became more open-minded, they took more ownership, and they handled challenges differently. That could be the way that you express about somebody leadership development. But now we need to be able to measure it and explain it in a different way. So we deliver experiences, but we're gonna answer now which type of leaders actually Isaac is developing. In Expros, you saw this. You saw, okay, first we're gonna have the LDM pilots, okay? So we can test how we actually measure leadership as an organization. We show you this in Expros, the new version of the LDM, and I know most of you may be already aware with that. ISEC at the end will have global citizens, we have value-based leaders, and we develop qualities and skills. Good? We will measure action upon values. We will have the tools that our leaders need. And finally, we have bringing back empowering others, being self-aware, and actually being solution-oriented. One clarification, we're gonna focus on measuring the 3 ones, but in the last impact report of somebody taking a nice experience, we include the whole 6. If a member takes an opportunity, or a global talent, or global teacher, or global volunteer as well, okay? So that person should have a report fully of how the ISEC experience developed them. Remember, that's what we're trying to aim, moving from reporting in numbers to reporting actually how people can talk better with different cultures. We want the LDM to respond this. And the 3 together, not one more important than another, is the types of leaders that we create, okay? That's the thing that was launched in Expros. But what's coming now with the LDM new pilot is, this is the flow. We need to test it. We need to see an EP in the experience, how it's gonna be developed. A member in the experience, how it's gonna be developed as well. So, we are looking for entities that want to measure the leadership better, okay? So this is a new leadership development assessment. It's gonna be based on realistic scenarios and behavioral choices. What does this mean? We don't want just to measure how people talk that they developed during the experience, but how they acted in different scenarios and different circumstances, where they being global volunteers, global teachers, global talent, or members. This means that we will not tell you how do you feel about this development, but how you act on the development. How people is acting in different scenarios. This means that a participant can be understanding their current leadership mindset in 3 aspects. They can be passive, adaptive, or transformational. This means when they start their experience, they can understand where they are, how to get to the last stage that should be a transformational experience for everyone. Good? This means a passive person will stop from waiting, avoiding uncertainty, or staying within familiar situations, to start to respond effectively and contribute within existing situations, and finally taking ownership, creating positive change and empowering others, okay? That's the transformation we wanna see with the new leadership assessment model. And the pilots are trying to solve one question, that is, before we do the global implementation, how we can improve the report of leadership with youth, with partners and organizations, so we can explain them better what we're bringing to the value to their companies, and finally, explain the type of leaders that we create clearly, okay? The new LDA also should be used before the experience. We are going to remove the midway LDA, okay? Why? Yes, I know, applause. Because it should be used as a inflection or reflection point, but not something we reinforce in the middle of the experience. They're still on their way. We're gonna be mandatory at the beginning and at the end of the experience, as it was before. And the midway LDA will be removed. Also, why piloting? Why not launching now for everyone? First, platforms changes cost a lot, so we need to be 100% sure that it's fully functional before we launch it for everyone, and we want to answer this type of questions. Does the participants understand the scenarios and questions that we have with the LDA? Can entities integrate the LDA naturally into the customer journey? Does the result create useful reflection conversations? Which parts of the process are difficult or are unclear still? And what evidence of leadership development can we meaningfully capture? These are the questions that we will answer with the pilot, okay? What is the criteria for being a pilot entity? Okay, first, if you're an MC, we have a goal that is at least 30% of your realizations to be using the new LDM, okay? This means so we have this amount of numbers of realizations that actually can give us the data that we need. Nominate one pilot responsible, could be MCVP, OD, MX, somebody from your entity, can be even a EST, okay? Select the programs and the LCs that will be involved. So yes, LCs, you have a role implementing this, not just MCs. So your MC will nominate, and in this case, you will have the conversation as entity. Which of you will be piloting this, okay? And pilot reports, we need to understand how it's advancing and how is the integration. Clear for MCs, good? It's easy. Then for LCs, these are the things that we need you to do. I know it seems a lot, but that's doing ISEC. You should facilitate the initial LDA before the experience, connect the results to the goal setting and reflection, deliver intentional reflection during the experience, facilitate the final LDA in the brief, and submit quantitative results and qualitative insights. That's what we do, or you should do as minimum during the experiences, okay? So if you're an LC, you just need to integrate this better during your experiences in realization management. And share challenges, participants' reaction, and recommendations. We want to document this process so we can have a clear way forward for future generations that want to change the LDM again, maybe, okay? Good? Finally, so last slides. Can somebody help me with click, please? It's not working. Pilot entities, what we'll receive from AI. First, you receive the new leadership model guide that is ready. We're gonna launch it in this IC, okay? The new LDA form for the change participants and members so they can use it during the experience. Guidance on integrating the model into experience delivery, facilitation, reflection, and guidance, pilot reporting and feedback mechanisms, and finally, support during the implementation, okay? So the timeline is, we're launching now in IC Indonesia, the pilot entities. Deadline for applications will be July 27 in Canada time, by the way. Announcement on selected entities will be the 31st of July, so you can start to use it already in August. You don't have the onboarding in August. Onboarding on pilot entities will be in August 3rd, okay? Good? Finally, this is the link if you want to apply to be pilot in the LDM in your experiences of exchange, okay? So check it. It will take 4 minutes to submit, and there is the instructions that I explained differently, okay? Finally, when we are able to, or somebody asks us as an organization again, the type of leaders that we create, with this pilot, we will know how to answer, okay? Thank you so much. That was everything. At the end, we are bringing this promise back that we are the top world provider of leadership. Thank you so much, guys. This was all for ELD Launches. This project, I'm not alone. I'm with Anson Chang, and actually, where is Niels from Australia? Niels? He's part of the team doing this. He's not here. and also Maria, the CXO of Isaac in Turkey, okay? So, thank you so much for helping during this project, and I would like to see already this pilot in the LDM so we can measure our leadership better. Good? That was everything for ELD launches! I know for sure it was a lot of information, but approach Omar, approach Shao, or you can approach me or Anson to ask this question about these things, okay? And how can you take this back to your entity and implement it in a really good way? Cool? Okay, now we're gonna have these sessions, okay? First is a 15 minutes break. Can you confirm? Yeah, 15 minutes break. Then MCPs and LCPs are gonna go to Sempaka, Sempaka 2 and 3. Sempaka 1 is gonna be GVGT, Gambir is gonna be MXOD, Finance, BD E1 PR, and Marketing. I'm gonna go to Gambir